First of all, guys, amazing job on this film. I love noir stories. I love heist movies. This is right up my alley. And this is such a brilliant movie. Now, Brendan, everyone in this film has dirt under their fingernails and no one can be trusted. It has a real noir vibe, which I dig. But what is it about Ed Sullivan's script that stood out to you to make you want to join No Sudden Move?
And it was going to be directed by Steven Soderbergh, full stop.
Sure.
Beyond that, it's a great story. I think that, in the genre of film noir, I've always been a fan of Orson Welles and Stanley Kubrick's, and this is not far removed from the world of that, albeit now rendered in color,
Sure.
and with a world-class director who is at home and at the top of his game directing this type of movie.
Absolutely. Now, Bill, Aldrich Watkins is a man of few words, but holds a lot of clout. Can you tell me a little bit about Watkins and what excited you about the character?
Well, exactly that he doesn't talk much because he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
When he says something, if you do not do what he says, there are consequences. And if you lie to him, there are consequences. So the fact that he has the power to really deliver some real consequences, he just lays back and points to things and nods his head, etc. I just love that about the character.
Bill, I'm not going to lie. You just saying that right now, by you saying that to me, it felt like you were talking to me as the character, and I'm fear just came out of me just a little bit there. But Brendan, Jones is the man kind of tasked with recruiting all these players for the job. Who is Jones, and what did you want to bring to that character that wasn't on the page?
He's the bag man. He's got the money. He's got the plan. In a way, it's a stock character in film noir. He's the one who shows up with the offer, with the plan to see who will bite, to set things in motion for the whole rest of the movie. It's sort of like it's a prelude, an introduction. He announces the theme of where the movie's going. And then from that, as we learn, what you thought it was becomes something else. And there's a twist and a turn and a surprise around every corner. The audience isn't going to get ahead of Soderbergh on this movie.
No, I couldn't get it. I couldn't trust anybody by the time I was done watching this movie. Now, this film, obviously, it's a brilliant heist noir movie set in the backdrop of 1950s racially charged Detroit. Can you talk to me about how that adds a layer to the film, Bill, just by setting it there?
Well, we're talking about, segregation still exists. The rights movements and stuff didn't happen until the late 60s and early 70s.
Right.
And so in the South, you're having what they call lynchings and nigger barbecues, and there's crime in the streets of every major city that are racial. This is a gang of people, that blacks that came together and say, no, not here. And so they collectively came together, and they were feared because they would have delivered what anybody promised to deliver to them.
Right.
And they had the power to do it. So that was unique for me. I loved it.
Absolutely. Now, Brendan, you guys actually shot in Detroit for this film. Can you talk to me about what that added element brought to No Sudden Moves?
Well, this was November of 2020, really in the most, well, I don't know if it's the most, but a vulnerable point in our collective history with the pandemic. And so, to make a movie at that time, it seemed like an impossible prospect. We had to delay. It was meant to go in April of 2020, but it got shut down.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure if we believed it or not that it would come back. But Soderbergh had a plan, and the studio, credit to them, they believed in it, and they knew that if they trusted in him, he could do it. And there is a way to get a production of this scope mounted and done safely and really well.
Yes.
Supposed to say that, but it's a darn good movie. And yeah, we had safety protocols, all of that, as a requirement to just show up to work, being tested, proving it, and for good reason. And that something that I know that Bill and I both noticed is that in watching the movie, the ensemble is some sort of like binding agent or something about it. And I think it's that it brought us closer together. Absolutely. As an ensemble to take care of one another on the day and really, have even higher level of concern for one another's well-being. and that shows in the performances and the dedication that went into really wanting to get this done under very high stakes. It's a testament that where there's a will, there's a way, and I take a bigger lesson from this that art can prevail throughout this kind of a challenge.
And this is such a brilliant movie, guys. I really appreciate your time. I absolutely enjoyed the film. I can't wait for everyone to see it. It's a true breath of fresh air cinematically for me. So thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.